Animal Skins by Bryan Ott. Black. The sound of a blizzard as it howls through a forest. Insert title, Animal Skins. Faded. An almost pure white, heavy blizzard, thick and oppressive snowfall. The sound of rapid breathing approaches. A quick footstep in the soft snow leaves a deep indentation as someone unseen runs by. The legs of a running animal. Behind the legs of many other animals of the same species run. A pack has formed. Animals growl. The legs of a human running, being chased. The sound of female breath, elevated, scared, exhausted. Bursting through a thick section of brush, a young Thai girl, Pim, wearing a thin, tattered animal skin coat, runs at full speed. Snow sticks to her skin. She shivers in the cold. She looks left, right, unsure which way to go. Panic. The sound of howling dogs behind her. Cut to exterior forest, same moment. Reflected in a pair of snow goggles, a small campfire burns, the howls of wild dogs. An old, physically mammoth woodsman, late 50s, hunter, full snow-covered beard, head and body layered deep in thick animal furs, turns to face the sound. Snow goggles cover his eyes. The imposing image of a mountain beast in human form, chewing on the flesh of cooked meat as he looks out. His large, imposing body moves slowly. He pulls out a rifle scope from a handmade leather satchel at his side, holds it up, looks through the magnified scope lens. A pack of feral dogs run. In the trees behind, slightly lost in the heavy shadows of trees, a second pack of silhouetted human bodies run unnaturally fast, keeping pace with the beasts, chase after Pim. The scope moves ahead, passes through thick brush, spots the young girl running for her life. Her thin animal skin coat gets snagged on a branch. A large chunk of her coat tears. From a pocket within, a glowing golden ticket falls out, flutters down onto the snow. Though unnoticed by Pim as she runs off, Hunter spots the ticket, focuses his scope to see it more clearly. An animal paw suddenly smashes down on the ticket, burying it under the soft powder. Over this, his voice as he lets out a prolonged sigh, slow and aged. Snow rapidly covers his goggles, coats the surface completely. The sound of fire sizzling as it is extinguished by an unseen kick of soft snow. Cut to the menacing eye of a feral dog burns reddish-brown. The pack leader, a scarred gray beast, his fur dyed blood red from years of battle. Over this, the sound of the sizzling fire continues. The beast looks back and up toward the sound, seemingly aware that he is being watched. Cut to the little girl's hands push aside a section of thorny, snow-covered wilderness, cuts her flesh. She winces slightly. A drop of fresh red blood on a white, snow-covered branch. Wind howls. Cut to Hunter's gloved hand as he reaches into the large leather bag and pulls out 2 sections of a gun barrel. He clicks the 2 sections together, spins them tightly. He slowly inserts the barrel into the body of the weapon. Bodies of dogs and humans as they run, swish by. The gray pack leader stops running. His scarred snout slowly, gently moves through the falling blizzard, touches the snow-covered branch, sniffs the spot of blood that stands out. He growls, exposing his fangs. A human hand touches the head of the wild beast, strokes the beast's fur. A gesture of affection. The beast looks up. Pim runs into a dead end. A dark wall of impassable foliage and tall trees. She stops running, momentarily silence, except for her heavy breathing. It too slows down. A sudden howl from not too far off. She turns. Her face, seen clearly for the first time, reveals her youth. She is no more than 12 years old. She looks forward. Her point of view, a wall of white, thick, heavy snow falls. Slowly, the dark bodies of the rabid animals appear, one by one, revealing the full extent of the pack. The scarred pack leader in front, he salivates, his mouth and tongue move, anticipating the meal ahead. Pim's eyes as she watches her attackers approach. Her point of view, from behind the pack of beasts, a second pack emerges, a gang of wild kids roughly her age, but some slightly older, all wear animal skins with dirty faces, disheveled hair, and ragged attire. Wild hunters all to the last. Their leader, Scarboy, early 20s, his animal skin coat dyed red with the blood of his animal kill, smiles, exposing crooked brown teeth, a prominent scar across his left cheek. He wears a cowhide leather satchel across his chest and shoulders.
Oh!
With fear in her eyes, she takes a step backwards. Intercut, Hunter's campfire, Pim's dead end. Hunter, still watching from afar, lifts up his goggles to reveal his old blue eyes for the first time. Snow immediately clings to his thick gray eyebrows. Scarboy. Pim backs up toward the wall of trees behind her. Fear overtakes her body. Scarboy takes a step closer. His beast counterpart growls. Pim reaches into her coat, pulls out a very small, handmade buffalo bone handled, short blade knife. Hunter attempts to insert an extraordinarily long bullet into the chamber. His cold, clumsy fingers falter. Pim holds up the knife. Her hands, lacking confidence, shake. A second wild dog takes a few quick steps towards Pim, challenges the pack leader. It snaps at the lesser animal. Fangs tear flesh, and the large gray reasserts his control. Scarboy pulls out a large knife. The clawed paw of the gray beast advances. Soft snow cracks under the weight of its imposing frame. Dogs in the boys behind slowly advance forward. Pim's hand trembles as she grips the knife handle. Scarboy takes a small leap forward. His beast growls. Pim drops the knife into the snow. It disappears beneath the soft top layer. Hunter drops the long bullet into the snow. It disappears within. Pim reaches her bare hand under the snow, searching for the knife. Hunter takes off his glove, exposing his bare fingers, reaches down deeper into the snow. Fingers shaking with cold, he slowly retrieves the bullet. In the pack leader's eye, Pim's reflection as she searches for the knife.
Now!
Pim looks up, afraid. Hunter's bare fingers insert the bullet into the chamber. Turning to take aim, the full extent and exaggerated length of the buffalo gun seen for the first time, almost comical in its creation that such a weapon exists. The gray beast's body tightens, muscles taut, as it leaps into the air. The old man's bare finger on the trigger. The old man's eyes squint, thick snow in his brow. Pim's eyes wild and afraid. The echoing sound of a gun fires, midair. The animal yelps. Its body trajectory suddenly shifts. Splashes of red blood pepper Pim's white, snow-covered cheeks. She gasps, looks down. Scarboy looks up toward the hilltops. The sound of a second shot. The bullet slices his unscarred cheek, cuts a fresh wound. The pack of children and animals disperse in the wilderness, disappear in the sheet of falling white snow. Scarboy, holding his cheek, blood spills out between his fingers as he stares at Pim. He turns, runs into the forest. The beast lay dead at her feet. She collapses to the ground, completely exhausted. Moments later, the sound of approaching footsteps. She looks up. Pim's eyes nearly completely shut. The last image she sees, the slightly out-of-focus mountainous silhouette of Hunter, the king of the wilderness, towering above her, snow blasting him from behind. She loses focus, a soft blur. Exterior snow-covered campground, near sunset. A healthy fire burns, animal meat, which we can assume is the fallen pack leader, speared through the center by the long tree branch, hangs above the makeshift grill pit. A very large knife tears through the cooked flesh of the animal, pierces a huge chunk of cut meat, which clings to the end. Hunter, still wearing his thick animal skins, devours his kill, chews heartily, wild and savage. Pim's eyes open, sees Hunter, immediately panics. She reaches inside her own ripped, thin coat, but does not find what she is looking for. Pim looks past Hunter towards his large rifle, which lay propped up next to him. Hunter notices her looking at his weapon. He calmly takes another large mouthful of meat, chews without manners. Hunter refocuses his gaze at Pim, sizes her up. He reaches inside his shirt, pulls out a golden ticket. Its golden light glistens off his face. He stares into her eyes.
Nobody in these parts ever seen one of these in years, but
the same golden light bounces off Pim's face as she stares intensely at the ticket in his hand. She shivers in the cold. Her flimsy, thin attire provides very little protection from the cold, even with the fire.
2 tickets. Now that's something else.
With a calm twist of his fingers, he slides the golden ticket aside to reveal a second golden ticket behind it. The sound of crackling fire. Interior burning house, near sunset. Flashback. Flames reflected in Pim's watery eyes as she lay on the floor of the burning house. One of the wild boys from Scarboy's gang, the full weight of his body on top of her, grips her collar. Pim's father lay next to her, Blood spills from a deep knife wound to his stomach onto the floor. With strained breathing, he desperately tries to stay alive. His eyes watery, focus on Pim. His lips quiver.
She ain't got no tickets either.
From behind a thick pocket of black smoke, Scarboy emerges. The flames burn around him. He wipes fresh blood from a knife he holds onto his pant leg, cleaning it.
The last 2 unused tickets out of here. Special reserve list.
Pim's father signals with his eyes for her to look down his body toward his boot.
I saw the log. It said received. You got those tickets.
She looks down, sees the handle of her father's very small buffalo bone-handled knife hidden in his sock. She looks back at her dad.
I didn't want to hurt your dad. He don't listen to Scarboy.
Flames burst around them. Additional wild boys continue setting the house afire with lit torches.
You give me those tickets. Scarboy let you go.
The wild boy on top of Pim pulls her in extremely close, his face inches away from hers.
Scarboy came for a reason.
Pim thrusts her blade into the wild boy's belly. He winces in pain, falls down onto her, rolls onto the floor. Pim points her knife at Scarboy, stands up.
Easy now. Easy, easy. Scarboy don't want to hurt you. Easy now. Easy.
Scarboy slowly backs away. With each step backwards, he disappears into the thick black smoke of the burning house until he is gone completely. She stares outside until she is sure that he is gone. Pim's father holds on to the 2 golden tickets out for his daughter. He tries to speak, his voice a faint whisper, the fallen body of the dead boy partially visible behind him. Pim moves in closer to him, her ear touching his lips as he talks.
Find your mother.
We don't need her. She left us. I'm not leaving you.
Pim tries to pull him up. Her father resists. The sound of howling dogs outside.
He's coming back with the dogs. Hurry. Get to the city. Find her.
Back to present day. Hunter holds up the golden tickets. They glisten as they reflect firelight. Suddenly, the nearby howl of wild dogs breaks the moment. Pim reacts in fear. Hunter eyes her, aware of her fragile state of mind. Looking past her into the nearby tree line that separates their camp from the wilderness, red eyes are seen moving within. The loud thud, Pim's handmade knife slams into the tree stump on which it sits. Pim jumps, dogs bark.
Smallest dang knife I've ever seen.
Pim grabs her knife with strained effort, attempts to remove it from the log. It is stuck.
My father gave it to me.
With force, she pulls it out, grips it firmly. She stares at Hunter intensely. Hunter casually puts the 2 golden tickets back into his inner coat pocket. As he opens his coat slightly, Pim notices a broken woman's gold locket with a missing front hanging from Hunter's neck. She sees a picture of a little girl inside, a few years younger than Pim. Hunter notices her eyeline, aware that she has seen the locket. He tucks it back under his shirt, hides it from her view.
The wild's no place for a kid to go wandering alone.
Hunter extends his much, much larger knife out to her with a piece of cooked meat at the end.
The father should know better than to let.
Don't talk about my father.
She looks at him, the knife still in her hand. Hunter smiles, chuckles a bit.
Where is he now? Your father.
She grabs the meat, shoves it in her mouth, eats violently, savage like a starved animal. She ignores the question, but never breaks eye contact.
What about your mother?
I don't have a mother.
Hunter takes a large bite of meat, neither of them breaking eye contact.
Well, 2 tickets means you got someone besides yourself.
Does it?
The stare down continues until Pim finally looks away.
Kid with a scar, chasing you.
Hunter takes his finger, deliberately wipes it across his cheek, mimicking the boy's scar.
A few years back, I didn't try to graze him either. My aim's always been a bit off, like today.
Why would you?
I had my reason.
Pim looks back at his chest and the coat that covers the locket barely hidden beneath.
You should have been a better shot. Things might have worked out better for you.
Pim takes another piece of meat, chews. Hunter closes his coat tighter. He looks away. Pim notices the change in his demeanor.
Scarboy killed my dad. The ticket's his. Was his.
Hunter looks back at Pim. His expression changes unexpectedly. A moment of sadness. Quick, but recognizable. He stands up, walks over to the campfire edge. Alone, with his back facing the firelight, he looks out into the wilderness. His cold breath forms soft halos. surround him and dissipate moments later. He quickly turns back to face her.
I'll give you your tickets back when you're safely aboard the train, because you'll never make it alone. Now eat.
She takes another bite, watches Hunter. The fire burns as embers rise up unnoticed. The embers rising, wind howls. Match cut. Snow falling, heavy, blizzard-like conditions. Exterior forest, morning. Now, covered from head to toe in Hunter's animal skin coat, Pim walks behind the hunter. The oversized coat seems to increase the size of her frame. She appears stronger, more capable. Hunter charges ahead, wearing only his thin, inner clothing, looks less gargantuan without the layers, but manages somehow still to appear unfazed by his surroundings. Suddenly, he braces his arm against her body, forcing her to stop suddenly in the tracks. He holds his rifle, stands still. From out of the white, a herd of elephants, braving the storm, trek past them. A mother elephant walks in front of her baby. His trunk grips her tail. The elephants take no notice of the two travelers. A quiet moment of awe and reverence for these majestic beasts' ability to survive the harshest of conditions. The elephants disappear back into the wall of white. Cut to exterior forest, day. As they walk, a series of shots. Snow clings to the fur of Pim's animal skin coat. Hunter's snow-covered beard. Hunter's snow-covered locket, exposed once again. Pim looks up at him, sees the picture inside the locket again. The girl pictured looks like a younger version of herself. They pass a partially exposed, snow-covered sign that reads Bangkok, XXXX kilometers. The numbers have been scratched out. They stand at the edge of the tree line that borders an open, snow-white field.
We're here.
Pim looks forward, sees nothing, but pure white as the forest clears. A few moments of silence before a small, undefined form approaches from a short distance off. The sound of an approaching train.
The train will slow down here to make the curve. You'll jump on.
Hunter slightly shivers for the first time. He pulls the 2 golden tickets from under his shirt, holds them out for Pim to take. She takes only 1 ticket. Hunter looks at her, then back at the ticket in his hand. He pauses momentarily, considering the choice he is given. He opens her coat to give the second ticket back to her, but Pim stops his hand before he can place the ticket in her pocket. She holds onto his wrist.
Who's the girl in the locket?
When you get to the city, keep your head down. Avoid trouble.
She looks like me.
Don't let Scarboy find you.
Is she me?
She's my granddaughter.
Hunter tucks the second ticket into her inner coat pocket, closes her coat, gently wipes a bit of snow from the fur.
Listen to me, girl. This ticket is not meant for me, and it's not your father's anymore either. Ask yourself who it's meant for and find that person.
My father told me to find my mother.
Then find your mother.
Hunter turns, walks off, and disappears into the forest from where they came. She is alone again. Black smoke billows, fills the white sky with a dark celestial shadow. The large looming train slows as it approaches, details unclear behind the smoke. The sheer size and weight of the machine looms over her small frame as it emerges through the thick blanket of gray. Footsteps crunch on the snow behind her. A body unseen crosses behind her. She looks. Nothing. The open field grows eerily silent. A handful of bodies move within the thick smoke. The train begins to pass her slowly, but at a speed still dangerous to board. The sounds of approaching voices, aggressive. She looks behind her. The train begins to pick up speed. The human legs of someone running. Behind the legs of many others running. Voices yell. Pim pulls out her knife, grips it tightly. The train picks up even more speed. The train whistles loudly, startles her. From within the darkness of the forest, the same pack of running wild boys and beasts burst out, heading straight toward her, yelling and howling aggressively. Afraid, she quickly turns toward the moving train, reaches out for it, but her attempt is too short. Her hands miss the train. The wild pack of kids just steps behind her, reach for her clothes. They grab hold of her animal skin coat, pull her towards them. Pim reaches for the train again. Her fingers manage a feeble grip. She struggles to hold on. At the moment she loses her grip, a hand from aboard the train suddenly, unexpectedly grabs her, pulls her up onto the caboose exterior deck. Unknown eyes stare directly at her coat pocket, sees the 2 golden tickets hidden within, but slightly exposed. Pim, aware that her golden tickets have been spotted, closes her animal skin coat tightly. She looks up at the face to reveal Scarboy, his prominent left cheek scar visible turns his face to reveal a second, fresh, bright red new slash across the right cheek. He wears the same cowhide leather of satchel across his chest. Behind him, through the windows of the last car, his gang of forest kids holding handmade weapons of fastened train spikes and wood look out at them. They too wear animal skin coats. The kids inside the train slam open the caboose door. One wild boy with a shaved head darts out to grab the golden tickets. Scarboy, seeing the boy's attempt, quickly pulls out his large knife, growls like a beast, and slices the hand of the lesser boy. The boy retracts his bloody hand, whimpers. Scarboy looks back at Pim, a wild stare, fire in his eyes.
Oh!
The sound of air being sucked into a tunnel as the train enters. Black. Whoosh! They exit the tunnel. Light returns. Scarboy is gone, along with his forced gang of ruffians. Pim stands alone. She looks down at her pockets. Empty. The golden tickets are nowhere to be found.
My tickets!
Pim stands at the back of the train looking out. The train door behind her, unlocked, slams open and closed. Interior train car side doorway, moments later. As the train exits the tunnel, it begins to slow down. Scarboy looks out, watching his forced gang jump off the slow-moving train, one by one, and head for the hills, screaming and yelling wildly. As the last of the forced kids jump off, they look back at their leader, still on the train.
Scarboy, jump! What are you waiting for?
Standing on the bottom step of the open doorway, Scarboy stares at them, waves goodbye. He touches his leather satchel, tapping the unseen golden tickets hidden within.
I'm gonna be rich. They're all mine.
Only they don't belong to you.
Pim appears at the top step, a level slightly higher than Scarboy. Scarboy looks up at Pim.
Little girl, I'm taking these golden beauties to the city and I'm gonna be something. Something special.
Scarboy pulls out his large knife for the second time. Pim reaches for her smaller knife, grips it firmly. Scarboy smiles.
No more Scarboy taking orders. Gonna be Scarboy giving orders.
Scarboy flashes his knife around, playfully.
King Scarboy. King of the city. Hell, I'll be king of the moon if I want.
Pim takes a step closer.
I know how you got your scar. The first one.
Pim inches closer, another step. Her hand grips the knife firmly.
You think that old man gave me this?
Swoosh! The train enters another tunnel. Dark and light intermix, a series of flash images.
I was shot, all right, but wasn't by no old man.
Dark, light, flashes.
It was a woman, and she ain't dead.
A series of shots. Scarboy lunges out toward Pim. They fight. A single golden ticket falls. Hands reach for it. The large knife slides along the floor. The golden ticket shines, illuminates the faces of both mid-struggle. Over this, the sound of knife-piercing flesh. A scream. Blood splashes across a ticket held by an unknown hand. The train exits the tunnel. Daylight re-enters the space to reveal at the doorwell. A hand holds the strap of Scarboy's leather satchel. It is Pim, whose firm grip on the leather strap holds Scarboy half in, half out of the train car. The blood-covered ticket in Scarboy's hand. Pim drops her bloody knife, swipes the single blood-covered ticket away from Scarboy, puts it in her coat pocket. Scarboy immediately covers the bleeding wound on his chest. Scarboy looks forward out of the train, sees another tunnel rapidly approaching. He looks back at Pim, who still holds the strap.
I've still got it. It's mine.
Pim tries to pull the satchel and Scarboy back inside. Scarboy, stronger than Pim, pulls against her and wins.
Old man's daughter got me once, but I got the picture in her gold locket. Ripped it right off her neck. Kept it to remember. Right in here.
Scarboy holds firmly onto the satchel.
But you're never gonna see it.
Scarboy looks down at his bleeding chest.
I'm gonna be somebody. They'll say, Scarboy, you made it.
Pim struggles to keep her grip on the satchel.
Let me pull you in.
Scarboy looks at the approaching tunnel. The strap of the leather satchel begins to tear. Threads loosen as the leather stretches beyond capacity. Scarboy smiles.
Long live the king.
He holds the satchel up to his heart. Swoosh! The train enters the tunnel. Black. Interior train car, moments later. Over the darkness, the sound of escaping pressure. Light returns. Pim looks over, sees the empty train doorway. Scarboy is gone. The leather strap still firmly in her grasp, she pulls it up to reveal the satchel pouch is no longer attached. She looks down at her animal skin coat. It is speckled in fresh blood. She drops the useless leather strap. Wiping the blood with a quick swipe merely smears it on both her hand and the coat fur. Suddenly, sunlight shines in, warms her face. She looks outside, squints slightly as the world opens with unexpected warmth and light. Her point of view. In the distance, the city of Bangkok rests like a silent monolith, centered in a half-frozen lake. Partially submerged, only the tops of high-rise buildings pierce the water's surface, surreal and majestic. Local fishing boats and fishermen cast out their nets. A half-submerged place marker reads, Bangkok, population XXXXXX. She removes her golden ticket from inside the bloody coat. It begins to glow brighter than ever before, as if producing an illumination of its own, non-related to the light of the sun. Pim takes off her blood-speckled animal skin coat, throws it out the open door of the train. It is gone. As the train turns a sharp corner, off in the approaching distance, a huge space elevator reveals itself, shimmering. The endless layers of constructed metal and pulsating lights glisten. The futuristic structure reaches up beyond sight, disappears deep within a sea of clouds that part as the blue sky takes over. Pim looks at the golden ticket that pulsates in rhythm with the space elevator. It begins to emit a slight electric humming sound. Pim stares out the window, the reflected image of the space elevator in the glass across her face. The glow from her ticket pulses in rhythmic pattern with the elevator. She looks down at her ticket, then back up toward the skyline and the unknown future that lay ahead. She smiles. Exterior, snow-covered field, same moment. A gloved hand reaches down into the soft snow, pulls up the ripped leather satchel, which now emits a strong, pulsating golden light. Blood covers its exterior. Small, bloody footprints in the snow lead into the forest. The same hand opens the pouch. The golden glow bright, almost blinding, pulsates. Hunter's goggles as he stares out toward the city skyline, the reflection of the space elevator in the glass lenses. With each rhythmic beat of the ticket's golden glow and the shadows in the space between, Hunter's piercing blue eyes shimmer and disappear. Hunter reaches back into the satchel, pulls out the broken half-front cover of the locket, its faded, gold exterior a perfect match to the one around his neck. He turns the piece over to reveal a picture of a woman, mid-30s, the same hair color, complexion, and general type as Pim. It can only be her mother.
Your mother's not up there, kid.
Hunter pulls out the locket from around his neck, attached the missing cover to it. He holds it in his hand, looks at both pictures side by side, now of mother and daughter. There is no denying the family resemblance. He closes the locket, puts it back around his neck. Hunter looks back out toward the city.
She's still here. Find her for me. For both of us.
Cut to the frozen city of Bangkok, still and lifeless, the shimmering space elevator pulsating behind. Black.